Coming up next on Good Morning El Paso, breaking overnight, a stabbing in northeast El Paso sends 2 people to the hospital and has Dyer Street closed off this morning. Around the Clock news crew is on the scene.
Are we going to so blithely give up our freedom? Are we going to so blithely go along and just say, take it? Well, I'm not going to take it anymore.
Some are calling it a victory for civil liberties. Others calling it a victory for the terrorists. The Senate wraps up its session without extending the controversial Patriot Act.
Also, the firearm debate officially wraps up in Texas. We have the latest deal out of the state legislature and what it means for college campuses.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC 7's Good Morning El Paso.
Rise and shine, El Paso, Las Cruces, and Juarez. I'm Stephanie Valle.
And I'm Hillary Floren. Good morning, everyone. The time right now, 6:01. It's going to be a hot one today.
Yes, it sure is. We're in June, and of course, that just means the heat, Crystal.
That's right. Kicking off June with a punch here because we are talking temperatures nearing triple digits later today. Right now, outside, our clouds and radar map shows us the narrow neck of the woods, things are clear. Notice just to the north of TRC, a little spot shower is trying to develop there. We do have slight chances of rain in the forecast throughout today, starting later this morning in the north part of our viewing zone, and then this afternoon dropping down farther south. We're talking 10 to 20% chance of rain, a little better off over some of the higher elevations. As for your forecast temperatures, right now we're at 69 degrees. Later today, we're talking upper 90s expected. Winds are currently calm outside, but later today, those might pick up a bit too. We're going to talk about your expected wind gusts, your expected chances of rain, and some of the changes over your 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Crystal. And now let's get straight to our around-the-clock news coverage this morning.
A stabbing in northeast El Paso sends 2 people to the hospital.
It happened on the 8700 block of Dyer, and right now Dyer is closed off between Arlen and Lawrence.
Good morning, El Paso's Denise Olivas is live right now in northeast El Paso with the latest developments. Denise.
Well, this section of Dyer still remains closed off, so yet another reminder for drivers in northeast El Paso who typically use Dyer to get to US 54. It remains closed off. Again, between Lawrence and Arlen, Dyer is closed off at this hour. We still don't know how long it'll be closed off, but we've already seen some cars taking detours and trying to get through this area, but of course at this time it's still closed off. But we do know so far, and if we take a closer look, now that the sun has come up, giving you a better look at the area right now, we do want to let you know, you see some officers there, some police units. Part of the Hawaiian Royale Motel was also taped off. Some investigators there in that area. We don't know exactly why or if that's part of where the incident started. And then behind that building on the other side is where the El Paso Police Mobile Command Center is. Typically, the mobile unit is called out when it is a larger investigation or when they're going to be out here for several hours. Again, investigators pretty much all across this area looking into what exactly happened and looking for more evidence. What we do know so far is that 2 people were stabbed and hospitalized. We are getting reports that 1 person has died, but we still haven't got that information confirmed from El Paso Police. We do know this happened just before midnight is when police officers were called out here, and that is how long this area has been closed off. So again, as soon as we get any more information, we will let you know. Actually, just saw the spokesman for the El Paso Police Department, Mike Baranye, just show up to the scene right now. So we're going to talk to him, and we'll get you the updates in just a few minutes. But for now, we're live in northeast El Paso. Denise Olivas, ABC 7.
Okay, Denise, thank you for that update. The U.S. National Security Agency is losing its authority to collect Americans' phone records in bulk after Republican Senator Rand Paul stood in the way of extending the fiercely contested measure in a Senate session on Sunday.
Are we going to so blithely give up our freedom? Are we going to so blithely go along and just say, take it? Well, I'm not going to take it anymore. I don't think the American people are going to take it anymore.
That measure and several others post-September 11th look likely to be revived in a matter of days. The lapse in the measures may be brief, but intelligence officials warned that it could jeopardize American safety and amount to a win for extremists. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell reluctantly embraced a House of Representatives passed bill that would extend the anti-extremism provisions while also remaking the bulk phone collections measure.
We shouldn't be disarming unilaterally as our enemies grow more sophisticated and aggressive. And we certainly should not be doing so based on a campaign of demagoguery and disinformation launched in the wake of the unlawful actions of Edward Snowden, who was last seen in Russia.
The Senate voted 77 to 17 to move ahead on the House-passed bill and the USA Freedom Act, which would require the government to search records maintained by phone companies. The Senate adjourned until later today, when it will take up that measure again at noon in Washington.
Meanwhile, a bill in the Texas legislature just needs Governor Greg Abbott's signature now to become law. The bill will allow residents with licenses to carry concealed handguns on public college campuses. Students with a concealed weapon permit were already allowed to walk onto campus with a concealed handgun. The bill lawmakers approved Sunday takes it a step further, allowing concealed weapons inside the classroom and dorm rooms. Personal safety was one of the biggest arguments used by state lawmakers in favor of the campus carry bill, but not everyone shares the same concept of safety.
I think people are going to feel safe if they are allowed to carry their weapons, but I think that's also kind of a risk.
If I'm teaching a class, I'm giving an exam, I'm returning an exam, maybe somebody doesn't do well, you know, what if they're carrying a gun?
University presidents will still be allowed to designate some gun-free zones, like the library, where no one will be allowed to carry guns, permit or not. Also, it's worth noting that Texans must be 21 to get a concealed carry license, and this excludes a lot of college students.
Texas may get a boost in transportation funding. The Texas legislature approved a plan that would increase funding by billions of dollars. It now heads to voters for a final say. Backed by State Rep Joe Pickett, lawmakers are hopeful that it will clear traffic-clogged roads and highways. Lawmakers approved the plan to boost transportation funding this weekend. Now, if approved, it would divert $2.5 billion in sales tax revenue for toll roads and highways beginning in 2017. The proposal will be on the November ballot. Also approved by the Texas legislature, a simpler way to grade schools. The state will now use simple A through F letter grade systems. The bill now heads to Governor Abbott's desk for his signature. Schools will be rated based on student performance on standardized tests. Graduation rates and community and parent engagement will also be taken into consideration. The plan will begin in 2016 and will replace the current system, which gives schools ratings like MET standard. Texas previously approved the letter grade system for school districts, but not individual schools. Critics say the new grading system will stigmatize schools, and some parents may not want to send their children to an F-rated school.
Also approved in the Texas Senate state legislature this weekend, skipping school would no longer be a criminal offense under a bill that has cleared both chambers of the Texas legislature. Instead, accumulating unexcused absences would mean civil punishments with fines beginning at $100 under a proposal the Senate and House passed yesterday. Well, the measure now heads to Governor Greg Abbott. In fiscal year 2014, nearly 100,000 Texas students received misdemeanors for too many unexcused absences. So it's your voice, your vote. The two men who want to represent El Paso's District 1 squared off in a debate in the ABC7 studio. Al Weisenberger and Peter Swarzman want to replace outgoing city rep Ann Morgan Lilly. Well, the debate centered on experience and managing the quality of life projects.
Mr. Weisenberger talks about those as being one of the main reasons why he was there. Yet, I attended almost every single public committee meeting and charrette for these projects, for the arena, for the Hispanic Cultural Center, for the Kids Museum. I don't believe that Mr. Weisenberger went to a single one of those meetings. And so if this is such an important central focus of his platform, why was he not at any of those meetings?
I'm going to let you respond to that. Well, I'll confess to the fact that I'm not a professional campaigner. Peter has been running for this office for 9 months. Is that a qualification to be elected as city representative? I don't think so. Okay? I decided at the end, because I looked at the list of candidates that was running, I didn't think any of them were as qualified as I was. I thought I could do the job and offer service to my community, as I have for basically 43 years that I've lived in El Paso.
And you can see the entire debate online at KVIA.com. Early voting for the runoff begins today. The last day for early voting will be Tuesday, June 9th, and there will be no early voting this Sunday, June 7th. If you would like to learn more information about certain hours and locations for early voting, you can go to our website, KVIA.com.
It is 6:10, and we're taking a look at our TxDOT traffic cameras, looking again at Dyer and Hondo Pass, where things look pretty dark right now, just probably because of the angle of the camera against the sun. This is just north of the area where Denise Olivas is live, talking about the closure at Dyer around Arlen. So no problems at this intersection, but you'll encounter some closures at Dyer and Arlen.
A nice shot of the skyline anyway. College basketball will be seeing some changes next season, big changes.
And UTEP head coach Tim Floyd is speaking out about those changes slowing the game down.
And later on, one woman overcame the odds and a battle with a serious illness to prove that it's never too late to train for your next marathon.
And also meteorologist Crystal Cly has your detailed forecast. Crystal.
We are looking at some very hot temperatures in the days to come. Will we make it to that 100-degree marker? We'll talk about the numbers after your break.
All right, thanks, Crystal. This is ABC 7, where news comes first.